use your hand.
Yeah.
I know Dad asked me for a
I
hand
drive faster in my
massage.
computer than with my hand.
You prefer with a computer. So if you have a computer and you want to bring it in, you can always do that, save it, and then email it to me. It's the same to me. I just print it and correct it. Cool. How did you feel during the simulation? Stressed?
You know, the last 5 minutes.
When I said 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Does it help when someone says 5 minutes, or does it make it worse?
Worse.
It helps, okay.
Sometimes help. Depends. If you're halfway, it doesn't help. If you're finishing, it helps.
It helps, okay, yeah. Depending on where you are.
It gets me stressed.
The hardest part, if you had to say, what was the hardest part of that?
Connecting the idea.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, let's see, what did you guys actually put? What were your main ideas and how did you connect? For example, your first point, the first body paragraph, what did you say there?
I said that the newspaper are declining, but in the listening are adapting to it.
Okay. Anybody else something different or similar?
I heard about the online newspaper would be paid.
Okay. So the price of online
The introduction or
in the first main point.
oh,
Introduction is going to be probably very similar. Let me see if I can find the example response here for you guys. Again, there's more than one way to do something, so just because I show you one example response doesn't mean that yours is wrong. As long as it's clear, coherent, and you have some organization. Let's read again really quick before I give you the example. Let's read what a perfect score needs to be. So let's look at this is the actual rubric from ETS, which is the maker of the TOEFL. So this is what they use when they actually grade it. So there's different versions of it, but I think it's best to go right to the source. Let's have actually, Hassan, can you read? I know we read this before, but it's good to read it every couple of weeks. Hassan, can you read score of 5?
A response at this level successfully selects the important information from the lecture and coherently and accurately presents this information in relation to the relevant information presented in the reading. The response is well organized, and occasional language errors that are present do not result in inaccurate or imprecise presentation of content or connections.
Good. So probably the most important thing you're seeing here is what? What do you need to do to get a perfect score?
study a lot.
Study a lot. Select the right things.
So you can misspell a few words and still have 5,
Yes.
because sometimes that was my issue. I was doubting one word and I lose time.
It's not going to bring you down to a 4. If you do like 4 or 5 or 6 errors, and the thing is, you can make an error, a few errors, only they can't do what? They can't.
It's coherent.
Yeah,
Keep the same.
Yeah, meant to say.
You can make an error, but it can't result in like the wrong information. Like you don't want to say the wrong thing because of the grammar. You have to understand what's being said. Even if it's kind of hard to understand, you still understand. All right, let's look at a score of a 5. Let's have this a response at this level. Yeah.
A response at this level is generally good in selecting important information from the lecture and inherently and accurately presenting this information in relation to the relevant information in the reading, but it may have minor.
So it's basically the same thing here, except you can have a little bit of what? Inaccuracy, you can be a little bit wrong. Omission means you didn't have it. You forgot you didn't include the point. And vagueness, what does that mean? It's not clear. And imprecision meaning you're not exactly correct. So that any mistakes that you get, a 4 is still good. A 4 is still good. So for those of you who participated, I will be giving you your old one and your new one to see if you got any better. And for the rest of you, I will give you just the first TOEFL score. If you don't want to participate, you're like, I don't want to know my score, just let me know. That's fine. Let me see real quick if I can find, should have gotten this out when I was waiting. See if I can give you guys the example. So it's writing post text. So page 37. What we're going to do now is I'm actually going to give you guys some help with page 37. With speaking. We're going to do speaking today, and that means that I would like you to record yourself. If not, if you don't want to do it, that's your own thing. It's very fun for me on the weekends. I get to listen to you guys, and it's very cool. And then I can email you back. So it's like all technology, no paper, which I like. So let's go here. I'm gonna come back to it, guys. What page was that? Say on the page. 265 on the page at the bottom. This one. 264. Okay, let's look at the example written response. This is not to make you feel bad. This is just to learn. This is just a learning experience. For some of you, this is the first time you've ever done this, correct? First time for you? First time, Helmut? So first time, of course, it's hard. It's pretty hard. Specifically, the hardest part, I think, of TOEFL. So, but if you learn this, you're good. And a lot of these skills you're going to use in your other classes, other parts of the TOEFL, anything in your life. So let's look at the example written response. Who would like to read it? Can you see from there, Daniel? Okay. The lecturer disagrees.
The lecturer disagrees with the teacher in the reading that newspaper are going to disagree in the next few years.
Did you generally get something like that? Something like that?
Yeah.
So they were not the same, right? What was the main difference? Yeah, and there's maybe something about the price, paying for it or not paying for it. Okay, let's have Dr. Can you read the second one?
But the lecturer agreed with the reading that readers of newspapers are declining. He argues that the main cause of that online news is currently free to read. He claims that, therefore, in the future, newspaper will charge money to read the news online. So, at that time, readers might stop reading news online. The lecturer also points out that people trust newspapers more than bloggers and other online sources.
Did you get anything in your first body paragraph about people reading news online versus offline?
Yes.
Okay. It might not be wrong if you switch it the other way. They might say, okay, it makes more sense to do it this way, but that's okay. You got the information somewhere, so that's good. All right, let's have, this is only 3 paragraphs. Okay. So they included what? They kind of made it into 1 paragraph, a long paragraph. If you did 2, that's fine. Anybody do 3 body paragraphs? It will be interesting to see. 4, okay. Let's see what you have in there. I don't know what you got in there. All right, let's have Muhammad, can you read the last one finally?
The lecturer agreed that many readers feel loyal paper newspapers and they will not stop reading them. It contradicts the prediction in the reading by comparing newspapers to other forms of media, such as radio and movies, which didn't disappear with more modern versions become available.
Did anyone talk about how radios and movies?
Yeah.
So you got that.
Put it as a detail.
Detail. Yeah. Cool. So I'm gonna read yours and see it. Make sure you have most of the main ideas. I'm specifically gonna be looking at what information you took and then also grammar, which is really big. If the grammar or the spelling is something you really lose points. You could have a perfect response with tons of spelling errors, and they might just be like, ooh. So, okay, so just practice. Right now, I want to end with something a little upbeat since that was pretty heavy, and I'm sorry to scare you with my teacher mode. What I would like to do now is do a little practicing with the speaking. So now we're going to get in, we say goodbye to writing for a little bit. I want to get us into speaking. Specifically, I want to start with, what is this? Independent. So what does independent mean? Just your opinion. Easy, right? How many seconds do you have to speak in the independent section? 45 seconds. How many seconds do you have to prepare? 50. So right now with your partner, I want you to, we'll have everybody on this side of the room. And I don't know what work with I'm in so that Ronaldo can get a chance to do something. So everybody over here, you're going to start first. You're going to pick, and you two, this Helmut and Ronaldo, you're going to go first. If you want to record yourself, you can. If you don't want to, don't worry. I want you to tell me if you could have any job, what job would it be and why? 15 seconds to think about it. All right, get ready to speak. Okay, so everybody on this side, you're going to talk to your partner. If you want, you can record yourself if you're really serious about this. Ready, set, hit 45 seconds, go.